Hey ANPers, this is Dr. Jones checking in. This is ANP1 lecture test 3 video 16 and we're on page 17. For me, we're right here on 9-5. The shoulder is a ball and socket joint and the elbow is a hinge joint. There you go, next. So the hip joint is what type of joint? Ball and socket, as we mentioned. The ball is the femoral head. The socket is the acetabulum. Does a hip joint have more mobility or stability? More stability. The shoulder, which is also a ball and socket joint, has more mobility and less stability, because you can have either mobility or stability, but not both. The more mobility you have, the less stability you have, and vice versa. Okay. Is there any oh, here's a picture of the shoulder, and you can see the little socket here on the shoulder, and of course the ball is the head of the humerus, and you can see that the socket is much smaller than the ball in this situation, and there is a fibrocartilage pad in here, a little one. And then the elbow is a hinge, and here's what some of those ligaments are. We're not learning those ligaments. And then here on the hip, here is the fibrocartilage pad. It is a horseshoe-shaped area of fibrocartilage in between the femoral head and the acetabulum. Okay. We are learning the ligaments of the knee. So, need to know. All right, so the anterior ligament here is the patellar ligament. The patellar ligament goes from the apex of the patella to the tibial tuberosity. And this is the ligament that the patella develops in. The patella, as you know, is a sesamoid bone which develops in a tendon, and that's considered to be the patellar ligament, which is also technically part of the quadriceps tendon, but is a specific part of it, so it's got its own name. So. And then number 2 and 3 on the list, let me go to the next picture, are the two popliteal ligaments, and they are the back of the joint. Back here, popliteal ligaments. Here's one, and there's the other one going that direction. And number 4 is the ACL, flipping again. 4 is the ACL and 5 is the PCL. So the ACL is the anterior cruciate ligament, which is inside the joint capsule, and the PCL is the posterior cruciate ligament, which is also inside the joint capsule. The two of them are in the intercondylar notch here. So here's the posterior cruciate ligament. Cruciate means cross, like crucifix on the cross. And here's the anterior cruciate ligament, and it is in front. It is anterior to the posterior cruciate ligament, hence the name. So that's why. So that's what that means. And it's actually, and this one, the rest of the joint is dissected away so that you can see the cruciate ligaments. And here's from the back, you can see the anterior cruciate ligament is in the front, and the posterior cruciate ligament is clearly visible from the back. Okay. So that was 4 and 5. 6, move me out of the way, is the MCL, and 7 is the LCL. Okay, how does that work? So the tibia is medial. So it used to be the medial collateral ligament and the lateral collateral ligament. Now it's the tibial collateral ligament because it does attach to the tibia, which as we know is medial. And then the lateral collateral ligament is now the fibular collateral ligament. And that is lateral because the fibula is lateral. Get it? Lateral. So what does that look like on the knee? Here we have the tibial collateral ligament going right up to the tibia. And here's the fibula, and boom, fibular collateral ligament. That's how that works. Let's see from the back if we can see the same thing. So here's the posterior view, and it's still going to the tibia. Tibial collateral ligament. Here's the fibula, and here's the fibular collateral ligament on the lateral side. Okay. Yeah, we did that. Okay, and then on this one, here you can see the fibular collateral ligament, and it does attach to the fibula. Fibula is lateral. And then the tibial collateral ligament attaches to the tibia. And from the back, same thing. Fibular collateral ligament, fibula, tibial collateral ligament, tibia, there and there. So these are on the sides of the joints. Hold it together. The tibia, medial, fibula, lateral, as always. Okay, and then the last page y'all can do yourselves. That chart is directly out of the book. There are a few questions from that on the test, so definitely do fill in that page. If you have the 11th edition, it is on page 285. Either way, it's table 9.3, joints of the appendicular skeleton. The other page number I have down is 282, so that's probably the 10th edition. And if you're in a previous edition than that, it's in there somewhere. It's probably the same table number though, because they don't change the number of tables very often. Okay, let's see what else we have. Here we go. And this is the picture I have on my canvas right now. So these are white pelicans. We have pelicans in Rockport all year round, but in the winter, these white pelicans fly down from I don't know where, and they're just gorgeous. Now when they fly, when they're all folded up, they're pure white, but when they fly, you can see these little black tips on their wings, and those are at the very edges. It's like their fingernails are painted black. Really cute. I was never all about birds, but I've lived in Rockport long enough, and we've got all kinds of crazy birds, all the time. There's a pond outside of our living room window, and you can, on the neighbor's property, mind you, but you can see in different times of year different birds, and we get those really tall gray ones that I never can remember what they're called. Not the huge ones, not the whooping cranes, but the ones that they hang out with sometimes. And we have more fun just watching the birds. So who knew? I guess it's a Texas thing. So thank you as always for tuning in. This is the last of our test 3 videos. So this has been ANP1 lecture test 3 video. Didn't I just say it? Yeah, video 16 on page 17, and the chart on page 18 you can get from table 9.3. Thank you as always for tuning in. Dr. J out.